That is James Mennie. He is over at the Montreal Gazette. So, Jim, a lot of talk about François Legault. Interesting take from you here. You're suggesting, or are you hearing someone suggesting he, never mind this, about Legault, just call an early election?
I have to tell you, this was touched upon maybe a month and a half ago by the PQ with Fox Inter-Plamondon, the PQ leader, saying essentially it's clear that, the polls and whatever show, and this was before really Galland became the main story, but the polls show that this government no longer has the support of the people of Quebec. And you figure, okay, the guy's just politicking. But then you look at what's coming out of the Galland inquiry. You look at the unprecedented appearance of a Quebec premier in front of an inquiry examining what I can only at this point say apparent incompetence. I won't go any further than that, but apparent incompetence on the part of his own government. And I know our system of government, you have a system where you can have confidence motions, and a government, if it doesn't receive the confidence of the House, it has to stand down and call an election. Here, that's impossible. François Legault still enjoys, the Cats still hold, I think, 86 of the 125 seats of the National Assembly, even though every single poll that I've seen extrapolating, if a vote were held today, they'd be wiped off the map. So you're saying, why would you want to do that? Because honestly, Aaron, I think it's the right thing to do at this point. How can François Legault, any member of his government, anybody sitting on his side of the National Assembly, turn around and say, we represent the people of Quebec, when it's becoming increasingly clear they had no clue what they were doing? And right now, if that election was held, they get blown to Mars. And I'm saying, okay, we'll do it. At least do that service to the people of Montreal, because I know we like to say on the show, a week is an eternity in politics. I don't see anything coming out of this inquiry thus far, and never mind the final results of the report by Judge Galland. But I don't see any way this is going to be pulled out of the fire, Aaron. I don't think there's going to be some last-minute Perry Mason miracle witness comes on and says, no, I did it. Everyone else is innocent. That's not going to happen. This scandal has tainted this government from top to bottom. It has become so ridiculous, the number of cabinet ministers who have to testify before Judge Galland. Did you see the cartoon in La Presse today with Chapelot?
No.
He's got Bernard de Rainville complaining, everyone got invited but me. So you know what? This is where we are, right? Yeah. It's like it is crazy. I think between him and I think the energy minister. But apart from that, everyone's had their time. And now, like I say, it's going to be Legault next week. It's like almost, and I know it sounds very naive on my part. Maybe it's time for François Legault or someone around François Legault to say, at least do the right thing. Okay, go down with some dignity. If you cling to power for another 13 months with this battered, discredited, proven incompetent government, you're doing nothing but adding to the cynicism of Quebecers. There's no groundswell of support. There is no white knight in the distance who's going to save all of you. The only way this is going to go is south. So why not just have the election? Mm-hmm. Give someone else a shot. But, and in the meantime, of course, even the most pragmatic of reasons, Aaron, this one screw-up that we know about, that we're examining, already cost us $500 million. What about the ones we don't know about?
But, Jim, what about falling back on the old, well, I'm going to shuffle my cabinet and that'll make things better?
Who is he going to move? Where? The entire cabinet? And there's going to be no new faces. Everyone, it's like rearranging a witness list for the Galland inquiry, right? Unless he pulls someone out of the air, some backbenchers, and then we say, okay, well, why did you wait for this person? Unless you're taking absolute unknowns or perhaps unqualified people. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a galaxy of talent that we haven't heard about in the past 8 years in the caucus of the CAQ. Somehow, though, Aaron, I doubt it.
The thing is, though, François Legault being a pragmatist, right? I mean, okay, let's say he was to go ahead and do this, but he's also looking at a PQ that continues to do better and better and better in every poll. Not the right time to be calling an early election, though.
Well, it depends. All I'm saying is do the right thing because, do you really want to make Quebecers endure 13 more months of this? Because let's face it, I think this is just the beginning of the end. It's going to be a long, torturous, ugly end. And honestly, Aaron, I know, and a lot of our listeners will thinking the same thing. My God, they have an election, the PQ is going to get in. Don't be so sure, okay? It's one thing to have polls come out. It's one thing to be able, in opposition, to say things that go virtually unassailed. But do you not think everybody and their dog who's running against the PQ in the next election is going to be pointing out that you guys, the first thing you guys want to do, your job one, is to hold another referendum to take us back another 30 years for what? To what end? So this is a thing.
Yeah.
And I realize what I'm saying, even if I say it, people are going, my God, we don't have a lot in the way of options. Yeah, that's pretty much true. But what we have right here and now is a proven, utterly dysfunctional government, which, quite frankly, if it had any shred of decency left, would say, come on, you know what, let's just pull the trigger, get this over with, and at least hit the reset button for Quebec.
Yeah, I will point out that we leave out that one maybe in here, which is maybe Paul St. Pierre Plamondon does, in fact, heed those words from Lucien Bouchard, who realizes that a victory is, potentially not that far away, and pulls back. I know you don't think he will, but if that option is there, he can just pull back on that referendum promise, as PQ governments have done in the past, and not let people worry about it.
Well, you know what, Aaron? I have to tell you, I've said in the past, it's a PQ tradition to talk about sovereignty and then find some way to weasel out of it at the last minute just before you go to the election. But all that said, take the sovereignty stuff away, okay? By and large, compare what the PQ has said against what other parties have said. Take the separatism out of it. They're not that bad an option compared to the CAQ.
Okay, well, yeah. I guess, although we don't know, what's going to happen. It's easy to look at the CAQ and say, look, this party has left us with a $14 billion deficit. How much worse can it be? But that's not necessarily a plan either. So I don't know. I love that you frame it the way, though, Jim. Do the right thing and call an early election now, as if Francois Legault would want to do the right thing all of a sudden now.
I know we're on the radio, so you can't see my tongue in my cheek. But the fact of the matter is, this government has never done the right thing. This government has always gone for the cheap laugh, for the cheap fear, normalizing discrimination, pitting one group of Quebecers against another. I don't forget those days, and I'm sure a lot of other Quebecers haven't forgotten those days either. So to add to that really cynical populism, add to that a level of incompetence that we haven't seen in Quebec politics for quite some time. I think, like I say, I can't see how anyone could argue that these people can hang around for much longer.
All right, let's talk about this other story. Downtown, can it survive more road work? What are we talking about here?
Well, we're talking about the fact that there are going to be 44 new road projects in the greater Montreal area beginning next month, 11 of them on the island of Montreal. But, of course, we're going back to ripping up St. Catherine Street. And I know. The sun will come up tomorrow. Don't worry. Brighter days are coming, blah, 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 blah. I, as someone who just looks at Montreal from stepping back now, having moved out and looking at that place, more traffic disruptions, more construction, I don't think there's anything left in Montreal that's going to be able to survive another season of this. A lot of people are finding alternatives to doing things. I know, inadvertently, perhaps, or perhaps by design, a lot of employers are now compelling their employees to come back downtown to their office jobs, come back to work. We'll see how that goes, and whether indeed that is going to translate into more trickle down money for local businesses downtown. But right now, I'm not seeing anything. Even with this election, I haven't heard anybody really say anything that's going to convince me that, if I was owning a business downtown, that things are going to get better before they get worse.
I have never seen as big a mess, road-wise, construction-wise, downtown as I have this summer, honestly. And not just because I've never, ever seen it this bad.
I know, but the problem, Aaron, is this garbage has been going on for decades. Yeah. And you're right, it has never been so bad as it is now, unless, of course, we talk about this next month and maybe it'll be worse. And who has got the time to jerk around and say, oh, yeah, well, it's downtown. You got to go downtown. No, you don't. Yeah. Everyone I talk to now says, I used to go, but what am I going to go for? There's nothing downtown that I can't get anyplace else. Oh, yes, and find parking and not have to go through all kinds of detours and crap. And the city over and over and over again so smugly sits there, no, they're all going to come back. I'd be very careful with that prediction if I was you.
As someone said, I wonder if any of those people in Projet Montréal ever leave their homes to go downtown. I'm not so sure that's the case. James Mennie at the Montreal Gazette. Thank you, Jim.
À demain.